what's interesting about this is that we oftentimes get so caught up in making messages that we like online, the videos we like, the aesthetics that we like. But there's 2/3 of the market out there that want something else. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 94. Now, the other day, I was concluding a 3-part training series for a corporate company. And I wanted to share you what I learned, just share that with you, because being in like a bigger environment for me was quite interesting. Interesting in the fact that perhaps, I don't know, maybe the learnings, maybe we're just all really the same when it comes to what we're doing online. That's really the distinction. So anyway, I did a 3-part training series for a company called Panasonic. You may have heard of them. And I got that gig because I teach at the Center for Continuing Education at the University of Sydney. So it's like an upskilling center, essentially. Now, Panasonic hired me to customize 3 trainings for them: digital strategy for experienced marketers, content marketing, and experienced marketers' social media ROI. So I went in and did 3 days of training for them. And of all those trainings, here's the 3 things that I learned from hanging out with the marketing team at Panasonic. So there were 2 distinct teams, each responsible for 2 different types of product categories. And so one side of the room was one team, the other side of the room was the other team, the core marketing teams for these products. So number 1, the thing I learned is it is so beyond valuable to brainstorm with your team for any idea, anything that you're coming up with. What became very evident to me during this was that I had them doing lots of workshopping and exercises, and each individual on purpose would map out ideas. So ideas for digital marketing, for campaigns, for social media posts, for ads, for emails, anything, you name it. So loads of different brainstorming. On purpose, each person individually. Then they got together with their team and went around in a circle and shared those ideas. Then we had both teams sharing ideas. What's great about that is that we oftentimes can think that, we're alone in this whole equation of growing a business. And you hear this time and time again with my interviews and guests, that we can go into these moments of overwhelm and feel like, I have to do this. If it's up to me, it's going to be, if it's going to happen, it's up to me, right? I butchered that quote, but you get the idea. It's up to me. That's what it is. You sort of get caught up in this cycle of I have to come up with the ideas sometimes, right? Not all of us, but sometimes. And what's so beautiful from these exercises is the incredible ideas that came out of it. I'm talking incredible ideas, because people that normally wouldn't be able to speak up or give insights had a moment to brainstorm and then share it collectively with the group. And each person had their own moment to talk about it. So definitely brainstorming. And I've spoken about this before in my previous episodes with you guys, where this year I've been doing more brainstorming, more workshopping for the workshops and the things that I'm working on in the future of our business. Because in the past, I would have just been like, oh yeah, I'll put together a webinar and I know a lot, I'll just do it. But now I get the team to weigh in whenever possible. So that's number 1, brainstorm with your team when you're coming up with new ideas. Number 2, this one was a slide from a slide deck from probably 4 years ago when I was teaching on behalf of Meta, aka Facebook, as a trainer for them. I really liked this slide. And it said, the internet is the great equalizer. And it really became clear to me in the setting with the team during these trainings, ultimately what that really means. And to me, it means that small companies can compete with big, huge, global corporates. So no matter what size you are, you can compete in digital marketing and online marketing. Now, sure, yes, we all have different budgets and resources and team, but ultimately we have similar tools as well. And one thing that really became clear to me as I was teaching the team, the 4 pillars of social media marketing, or really content pillars overall. There's 4 pillars that perform really, really well these days in marketing. And I was talking through what those were. And I want you to think about them as I go through them with you now as well. No matter how big or small your company is, you can use these. And in actuality, smaller companies can sometimes be even better at one of them. So the first pillar is education. So you rotate through these pillars in content, right? So these pillars are buckets or topic types, essentially. You want to rotate through them. And the first one is education. And education's about, warming up audiences to who you are and how you can help them. Even if you sell products, it could be product demos. So education is one. And the next pillar is behind the scenes. This is the one that I think we as smaller businesses can really excel at. BTS, or behind the scenes, is the story of your business, the vulnerability, the messages that humanize your brand. And that's the second one. The next one is UGC, or user generated content. So this would be case studies and interviews and testimonials, collaborations, when other people are involved in making these posts. And then the fourth one, the final one, is sales, right? So promoting your services or your products. And the idea here, and this is what I teach at the university and with what we do with our clients, we have a brand new content marketing package that we've been trialing with a few clients, going really well. And same thing applies with them. We're rotating, we're filming content with them, and we're rotating through these pillars on purpose, because they work. So sitting there and talking to the team about the 4 pillars, I was thinking, well, anyone has a phone these days. We can all talk about our products and services. Number 2, we can all do behind the scenes content. But if you're a bigger company, oftentimes you have more compliance and more sign off, and it might be kind of weird to get one employee to be behind the scenes. You kind of have to stage it and try and think through it more, where it's for a small SME business, it's easier, tends to be easier for that. We have education. Again, it doesn't really matter. You just get on your phone and start to teach, no matter who it is on your team, small or big company as well. So you have all these different pillars, user generated. No matter who you are, again, get your audience to weigh in. So it reminded me that the internet is a great equalizer, and truly don't let your size or your business be a barrier to your growth and what you create online. And the third thing I learned was today's success online with your digital marketing depends on your mindset, and specifically about you being willing to try new things. And I'll give you a demonstration of that. So something else I teach oftentimes in these workshops is the power of a marketing hook, or essentially 3 different ways, or a few different ways, to talk about what you sell. And there's 3 distinct types of hooks. There's more, but 3 that I tend to talk about because it helps to demonstrate the difference of conversation. And the first thing that you can do to talk about what you sell is to appeal to the emotions of the person, your prospect. So, talk to them like, are you frustrated about this? Do you find that you're overwhelmed? Do you not feel like you know where to get help? You're really talking in messaging around connecting with the emotions of the person and how they're feeling, perhaps either now, before they know you, or after they work with you. So emotional. The second type of conversation that you can have where you're talking about what you sell would be analytical or logical. So facts, it would be, guarantees and what's included and features and that sort of stuff, right? So warranties, all of that. It is going to be very factual about what you sell. And the third one is what we call future pacing, or imagine if. So you're really painting a scenario of what it's going to be like to do business with you. 3 very different ways of talking. Now, whenever I'm doing this, you guys, with anyone in any sort of room that I'm speaking in, and there's a group of people of at least, I'd say 15 in the room, we will actually go through example posts or captions or pieces of content for each of these types of angles. And I always get the room to raise their hand and say which one that they like the most or they resonate with the most. And sure enough, my training with these guys was exactly the same. Roughly a third like the first emotive type of content, a third like the more logical, and a third like the final imagine if, like what's it feel like or what's it like to do business with you. So what's interesting about this is that we oftentimes get so caught up in making messages that we like online, the videos we like, the aesthetics that we like. But there's 2/3 of the market out there that want something else. And I've been asking and polling and doing this. I even did the other day on a webinar with the Pacific Islands. I do work with them as well sometimes for the importing, exporting over there. Asked them the same thing on the webinar last week, and a third. So online success depends on your mindset and your you being willing to try new things. And I think, talking to these guys, they were so hungry and willing to try new things, especially when we went through some of these exercises and they realized, wow, yeah, there's a whole other type or segment of the market out there that I didn't even realize existed. Or perhaps I'm just so caught up in doing it my way. So those are the three core things that I learned. So number one is brainstorm, collaborate with your team on ideas going ahead. If you don't have a team, your friends, like other people, collaborate on ideas. Number two is really, with the internet being the great equalizer, that any size business can be successful using these tools as long as you have the right frameworks and formulas to get your business out there. And number three is the whole mindset piece. Just be willing to try new things, test and measure, as we say in marketing, right? So, three interesting things. I even gave you guys a bit of education in this episode with some content pillars and some marketing hooks. If you actually are thinking about training, like you're sort of going, oh, Heather, I didn't know you did these training sessions or you taught at the university. So yeah, I do it. And I love to teach and I love to do these workshops and upskill teams and CEOs. So if you are interested in something like this, holler, reach out, hustlerebellion.com, head on over there, click on contact and reach out to me. I also recently trained a company that I've been a long-term member of called Naked Wines, as in Naked Wines. Amazing. It's a membership, huge national membership company here in Australia where you become an angel and essentially you fund small winemakers to make wine. And then you have access to buy those wines as well. I was training their team. My God, it was amazing. And then I also recently trained a group of 40 real estate agents at McGrath Real Estate here at one of the offices here in Sydney. And I think about those guys as well. And it's a very similar sort of feel for those guys too, and their teams. When I was training them, I could tell straight away the people that were going to leave and take action based on their mindset and their willingness to learn and try and sample new things and not get caught up in their own quote unquote marketing hook, their own conversation that they want to always hear. So that's it. Hope you got a few little golden nuggets from that, little couple maybe marketing tips for yourself. And again, if you need my help, if you need some training, reach out. I'm here to help you. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, talk to you soon.